Section 2 of White Force will turn across the order in the manner shown. This should bring the force, White 2, into line with it. And this is the line of the road. Note well the features. These are illustrations of parts of the refinery that is the target of Force White 2. On plan of the target for Section 2 of White Force is marked, and here the white arrow, the large white arrow, marks the direction of your run-up. The first small arrow points to the boiler house and distillation plant. The second small arrow to another boiler arrow to the cracking plant. Fourth arrow to the stabilizing. And now for on the target. The features, the landmarks as you approach the target. Across the small stream, across the marshalling yards, this side of the target. Note the winery. And now, again the twisting stream and the road and the railroad leading into the marshalling yards. First the tanks, then the target, the wall around the refinery. Section 3 of the White Force will turn north of Ploesti in the manner shown on the screen. This line should bring this section into line with target. Just north of Ploesti, you will cross the Ploesti-Brasov Road and pass over the Redevencer refinery. You will cross over the well-treed Boulevard target. Let's have a good look at 3 target. It is as you see alongside the main Ploesti-Bucharest Road. The vulnerable arrow. The boiler house. Number 2, distillation plant. Number 3. And number 4, a boiler house and a powerhouse. We will now do 2 runs slow. Down. Picking up the landmark of the double-treed boulevard. Passing out of the target now and in. Here is the target area. Marshalling yard on the right, the target below. And now for the fast run-up. Going in over the town again. Pick the double-treed boulevard. There's the refinery with the marshalling yard splitting it. Section 4 of the White Force will turn north of Ploesti in the manner shown on the screen. Run down to the target, it should be Ploesti-Brasov Railway all the time. This run brings you well to the right of the Redevencer. Now let's have a good look at the town plan, state ourselves well. The arrow points to the vulnerable parts of the target. The dot points to the lumen is not to be bombed. It's not worth it. The big arrow, the twin arrows, concentration of targets, the distillation and cracking plant, the powerhouse and boiler house. The next arrow points to a cracking plant. The next arrow points to boiler houses, distillation plant, and a stabilizing plant. Points to another distillation plant. And now for the run-up on the target. First, the slow one. There's the engine house coming picture, the marshalling yard to the right of the refinery. Coming in for the fast run now. The house, the marshalling yard to the right of the refinery, the target is below. Section 5 of the White Force will turn north of as shown on the screen. This should bring White Force 5 into line with target White 5. This is an easy run, because the formation just has to keep close and parallel to the Ploesti-Brasov Railway. The target you see just at the railway junction in the corner. Here is a town plan of the target White 5. The black arrow points to the target. And these are illustrations of the type of targets you have to hit. More illustrations of the vital parts. The big arrow points to the direction of the run-up. The little arrow points to a vital part, the cracking plant, the distillation plant, and the processing tank. And the next arrow points to a boiler house. And now, first the slow one, parallel to the road and the railroad. The marshalling yard and the railroad notches your target lies below. Now for the fast run-up, again parallel to the road, and there is the target below, notched by the marshalling yard. Blue formation will attack the refinery at Brazi. Blue force will follow north of Ploesti. At Ploesti, blue force will turn as shown by the dotted line on the screen. Here are some of the good checkpoints on the run-up. After you have left Ploesti, you will alongside the railroad. Only 3 minutes after leaving the IP, you will cross the tar road running into Ploesti, a wood south of it, and a railroad. Note the bend in the railroad as it runs through. From here, you will be able to, crossing the wood, you will pass straight over the village of Strejnico and about a mile. Now let's have a look at the target. It is the most modern refinery in Romania and has a capacity of a little over 500,000. These are the vital parts that you will have to hit. Boiler houses and distillation plants. And lastly, a distillation unit. Again, the biggie for the run-up to the target. And here, target blue. The little arrow points to the cracking plant and the boiler. The next arrow points to a power plant and a boiler house. The next arrow points, remember the big arrow points the direction for the run-up of blue force. And now for a slow run-up first. Note the marshalling yard picture. How the target is notched between the marshal. Now for the fast run-up. Okay, you've seen exactly how we to the Romanian. You know now that you can't see this film. You know that you must memorize all of this plan. It's naturally to you as It depends entirely on how or what you must do to do it. Study your target. Know exactly which target is yours. You know this is a tough job. Germany needs Romania's oil. It tried to get oil in Russia. There wasn't enough blood in Germany to buy Russia's oil. Oh, how lack of oil crippled Rommel and Africa wound up as a shuffle-weary prisoners. Mech strangles and bogs down without oil. Oil provides the fuel for the whole German, for 1/2 of us in Russia, for 1/3 the German army. Refineries, take away the Italian Navy, Army, and Air Force. You may knock Italy right out of the war. For an offensive against Russia. You will certainly soften for a Russian offensive. And a lot more Nazi generals will learn the prisoner song. You remember that was a big job, but an important job. Daylight raid on Europe by our flying was another big job. And the Wops ain't felt nothing yet.
We believe that the Nazis and the fascists going to get
the biggest job of the war. It's your job. Okay.